Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, good afternoon. How are you, buddy?
All right, Chuck. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Happy New Year. Welcome
Yeah,
back to the Friday at 4.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You too. You too. Happy New Year. It's it was good to take a 1 day break. Although I'm not
Yeah.
sure it was really a day break because I was working, but okay, we'll take it.
Yeah. The question I have for you before we start is this season 2, episode 1, or is this just episode 9,465,000?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Hmm. Is it really season two, episode one, if this is episode number like 68, 69, 70?
right. Exactly. So I
Good
guess we'll
question.
make it episode 70, I think it is that we're up to.
Okay. We could do that.
All right.
We'll stay on
Sounds like a
track.
plan.
We'll keep it that
Stay
way.
on track. We'll just keep the numbers rolling, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, season 2 of Chasing the Stars will be starting soon. I'm pretty excited. So I
Yeah.
did something that I never did before
Ah,
yesterday that I think I sent it to you. I'm not sure, but I went on YouTube on my TV and I watched my episodes on the big screen. And what a wake up call. It was cool to watch on TV,
okay.
but it was also like, wow, I made a lot of notes of things I like to change, things I could have did better.
Hmm.
But I'm also proud of how far I came with just a year of what I'm working on. And that leads me from talking about that, leads me into, the nice topic for today with our discussion of
Well,
this
before you get
episode.
to the topic, let me just throw
Yeah.
in my 2 cents.
Oh, sure.
You, in your last statement, and me are similar that we constantly criticize the work we do, as opposed to saying, look how far I came. We all know that we can get better at whatever it is that we're doing. We know that, regardless of what it is. We all know that. But what we don't give ourselves enough credit is, what have we accomplished? How far have we come? And we really should pat ourselves on the back. So instead of beating ourselves up, pat ourselves on the back and say, look, I've gone the first 10 steps. Yes, 1 to 100. I've gone the first 10. I'm not happy. Smack, beat myself up. But
Yeah.
be happy and say, but I did the first 10 steps, because how many people would stop on step one or two?
Yeah.
You've gone 10. I mean, you in general, you've gone
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
10.
Right. Yeah.
Be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Take the pluses, keep them going, and work on what I'm now calling the near misses. I'm no longer calling them losses. I'm calling them near misses. So keep what worked well, keep doing it, but take the near misses and one at a time, turn them into wins.
Yeah.
So be happy, be proud of yourself.
Yeah. I want to thank you for that because, as I went through all the episodes, the early episodes obviously are, they're definitely big near misses because I didn't know what I was doing. And that's what I talked about in the year-ended review episode.
Hmm.
I was just winging it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just recording and doing my thing. But as I got to episode 12, the end, the couple at the end here, I was proud of myself for how far I came. And,
Good.
I listened to people, right? I listened to what they said. I listened to the things that they said I could have done better. I've made changes and I smiled and I was like excited to watch myself on TV. Like, this is really cool.
Gotcha.
And, as I talked about last episode, my goal was to get on Amazon and Netflix with this.
Hmm.
I got a long way to go to do that. And it's okay
Yeah.
because I'll see the vision. And then the last few episodes, I can see myself on TV with this. It's something it's a big goal of mine, is I want to want to get on TV, you
Picture
know?
yourself on Amazon, on
Yeah.
Netflix. Picture yourself.
Yeah.
And what you picture and keep thinking about every day will come to fruition. Now,
Yeah.
it may not be today, tomorrow, next week, But if you do that disciplined approach, which we'll get into in a few minutes on our topic, but if you have
Yeah.
that disciplined approach, you will get there. But have that end goal in mind and repeat it every day.
Yeah.
You're going to slowly train the mind to start believing, yes, I can.
Yeah. Which a great segue into our topic today.
Mhm.
Here it is, January 2nd, and I haven't even started the goals that I have set and planned that I want to do starting January 1st. And it's okay, right? Because,
Mhm.
as the topic we talk about to discuss here is realistic goals and unrealistic goals, you know, what's realistic and what's unrealistic, right? I mean, let's dig into that because I think it's a great topic.
Mhm.
Talking
It is.
about, setting goals for the new year. Number one, how many people really set goals for the new year, right? Some people just wing it. Some people just go from the 31st to the first and just keep on moving, you
Right.
know? People like us, we really want to have something to look for, right? Something to say this
Mhm.
year, we want to accomplish this. I want to start this. I want to do that, right? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So I used to be in that vein of December 31st becomes January 1st. So what?
Yeah.
Really? So you're up the night before, you're watching the ball drop in Times Square, New York City, and that's great. So what? But then over the last couple of years, I started saying, am I really, truly happy with the year that just ended? And again, you got to sit back and really think about it. It's not just, yeah, okay, I'm fine, and move on. You're really happy, again, for whatever that means to you.
Mhm.
And over the last couple of years, I've been saying, no, I'm not happy. But my next year was a repeat of the one before.
Yeah.
So what I did this year, which I have never done before to this extent, was I actually sat down last week and I said, okay, what do I want 2026 to look like? And I'm going to give you my thing, and then we'll go through a couple of other examples of what people are thinking and doing. So I sat down and I said, I want to help so many families in 2026 personally, not even counting my team. I
Mhm.
personally want to help so many families become financially literate. And that just means education. That's all that means. People are good,
Mhm.
they just aren't educated. And then based on the number of families I'm helping, how much money do I want to make personally? Which is a direct reflection of how many families you help. And I sat down and we have a very simple Excel spreadsheet. And when you put in the number of families, it then reverse engineers and tells me if I want to help, let's just round it to say 120 families a year, average that out to 10 a month. So 10 months, I'm sorry, 12 months times 10 a month is your 120. So if I need to help 10 families a month, how many people do I need to talk to have that initial conversation, then a second conversation, then a third conversation, then a fourth conversation, because that's the way our process works. And when I started to reverse engineer, I need to talk to something like 30 or 40 families a month. So 40 families a month is 10 a week. Of those 10 families a week, how many are then interested in working through that funnel, the four, steps before we do anything? And I then reversed engineered the number of people based on an average transaction cost times. And that's the way I came out with what I want to do. And I've already started. And yes, you can say yesterday was the holiday. So I started today. And I'm reaching out to so many people, some existing, some new, but that's the way I'm taking it forward. So I'm setting to word you used before, what's realistic? Is it really realistic to help 120 families personally? Is it realistic to contact 10 families a week? That's something I have to determine. If I think it's too difficult, why is it too difficult? Before I reduce it, why is it too difficult? If it's too easy, increase it. Instead of 10 families a week, make it 15 a week. So every situation is different. And that's the way I'm sticking to it. I'm also getting more diligent about updating a journal, which again, I was hit or miss, but I'm getting more diligent this year every day. Just short. What I did, what worked well, what I want to continue, what was a near miss so I don't do it again or correct it so it becomes a win. So I'm starting to do that so I can look back and say, did I have this problem before? Oh, yeah, I did on this day, and this is what I did to fix it. So if I find myself veering off course, I can bring it back on. Now that's me. So let's take a couple of examples that I hear all the time. All the time I hear, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. And that's awesome if that's what you want to do. How did you define the 50 pounds? Is it 40? Is it 60? Over what period of time? Do you want to lose the 50 pounds over 3 months, 6 months, 12 months?
Mhm.
So again, reverse engineer it. Let's say if it's 50 pounds over 12 months, that's about 4 pounds a month. Okay, of those 4 pounds a month, what do you need to change to lose the 4 pounds? Does that mean you need to give up chocolate? Does that mean you need to stop drinking? Does that mean, whatever you need to do to
Right.
get that 4 pounds a month? And when you start to lose that weight, to what we said before, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job. The idea is get the mindset going that you can, that you don't need that extra cookie at night, which was one of my issues. Okay. You don't need the extra cookie at night. Maybe you can go from 4 beers a week to 3 or 2. Doesn't mean you have to cut it out.
Yeah.
Reduce it down. Make it where your body is now only looking for the 2 beers instead of the 4. Not going to
Right.
happen overnight, but phase it in over time. People who want to stop smoking. I've never smoked, so I've heard this from other people. It's very difficult to go cold turkey. You're smoking a pack a day. Very difficult to go from a pack a day to nothing.
Yeah.
But what if you said, for example, a pack this week, a pack a day this week?
Hmm.
Next week, what if you said instead of 20 cigarettes a day, make it 19? The week after, make it 18. The week after, make it 17. So your body and your mind slowly gets trained to start doing without. So again, is it realistic? By
Right.
when? And what are you willing to do to make that thing happen? Could be weight, could be smoking, could be, I don't know, you want to run a marathon. You're not going to run a marathon tomorrow if you don't run at all.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of learned that the hard way. Not running a marathon, just walking around the block. Okay. But yeah,
Get out of
um,
the house.
you gotta get your butt out of the chair and walk around the
Right.
house.
Right.
But I got to the point for a while that I was walking 3 to 4 miles a day,
Wow.
every day. When my
Mhm.
work was done at night, I would go out and I would just walk. And I felt great. The legs, the lungs, I felt great. So take your time, set a realistic plan, do it slowly, know exactly what you want to do. So in my case, go back to me for 2 seconds. I
Yeah.
said, what do I want to do yearly? And I broke it into quarters, months, weeks, and days. I went all the way back. So, in addition to knowing what I need to do on a daily basis, I also have an accountability partner, which keeps me honest. And every night, 5 nights a week, when my day is done at whatever time of night it is, I take 2 minutes and I send an update status to my partner in the business. And I tell her exactly what I've done. How many people did I call? What was the status of each person? How many families did I educate? How many families did I actually help?
Yeah.
So I'm accountable to somebody else. And that's keeping me, because again, I can only speak for me, but because I will tend to stray, it's just that's the way I am, right? But because I will stray, what's keeping me on the path? And it's that nightly update.
Yeah.
And if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I get called out. And I should, because I committed to doing something.
Yeah.
So that again, that's me. So it's the setting of the realistic goals. Now that's for me on a personal business basis. But what about if you're in a business? Chuck, you go in to see tons of businesses and you're adding value. But from what you've seen, and again, it's kind of hard because you're going in kind of a different perspective, but do businesses have goals? Are they executing? And again, you may not know because you're not getting into that side of business, but do those businesses have plans? Do they have targets to hit for revenue, to reduce expenses, to do whatever? Do they, in your opinion, again, you may or may not know. So,
Yeah. That's interesting. As you talk about this, right? And I don't know if you noticed, I was taking a couple of notes because
Mhm.
you helped me open up a little bit on my goals for the year. And that really that part hit because I don't think I've ever really looked at it that way to say, when I ask a business owner, what are your goals for this year or this month or whatever time of year it is? And how do those goals align with what I'm doing or providing for that business with my show, with my business snapshot, with my videos, right? So that really hit the mark for me to say that
Hmm.
that's one of my goals I'm going to write down in a second here is start learning how to tie my goals to their goals and get them on board with, our goals can align with each other. We just have to sit down and figure out how we want it to align. I never really thought about that. It's interesting. That opened me up.
Well, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
See, my, and again, I don't do what you do, and that's why you do it. You do it very well, okay? And I don't. Um, but I agree with you. If a business owner will open up, what are their goals? Are their goals to increase revenue? That's great, but what are they doing to increase the revenue?
Right.
Um, does that mean certain type of social media? Does that mean doing the where you go to a mall and give away, free samples of food to advertise your company? Whatever that means.
Right.
Now,
Right.
it may not be for you other than just to ask, what are your goals? And then follow up with, how can I support you?
Yeah.
You're not asking, you're not making them accountable. But if they want to increase revenue or they want to decrease expenses, get more exposure, how can you, with your show and your reach, how can you help them? And I think, I
Yeah.
personally, I think that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think too, what I never really, and it's something I've never done in all my years, and we talked about this in previous episodes, but I've never really
Mm.
wrote down goals and had tangible goals. I've
Gotcha.
always worked out in my mind and just spreadsheet with, you know, sales numbers in it
Hmm.
and potential clients and prospects and whatever else you want to call it. But I gotta tell you, I gotta hand it to you because this is the first year I've actually put those two goals on my calendar on my phone.
Hmm.
Now they've been pushed 4 or 5 days out because of things that I had to work on, but those goals are still on my phone and I see them every day now
Good.
and it's working. So I'm hoping tonight with this conversation, this podcast, and what I just wrote here, that this
Mhm.
will allow me after this podcast to really sit down and focus on those few goals that I want to start
Good.
tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, to put an outline together of what it's going to look like for me to get to those potential prospects and clients. And what's it look like, right? What's it
Yeah.
look like to talk to someone, reach out to someone, whether it's an email, a phone call, or an in-person visit,
Mhm.
really set together an outline of what it's going to really look like, push this forward, because I've never done that. And I'm already 16th of the way there. But what helped was your conversation as we started over the past couple of weeks with all this, the goals, and then me actually watching my videos on TV. I'm telling you that
Yep.
really, it really woke me up. Really put in perspective that I have come a long way in a year. I've accomplished a lot. I really have. And I listen to people. I don't have a mentor. As we talked about before, I'm really looking for a mentor.
Mhm.
Um, but I think holding myself accountable and really working myself, it's it's gotten me to where I am today.
Good.
And having this podcast and having you, you know, talking to me after every Friday at 4 really helps me stay on track and putting those goals on that Outlook calendar, well, calendar on my Apple phone it really helped. I think that's the start of something good for me to keep me on target. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So somebody, again, through the company I work with, Universal Wealth, um, they talk all the time about the mindset and everything else. But one of the examples or one of the things they said the other day, which hit home for me, which is why I'm repeating it now. Number one is you must have some type of goal to shoot for. Otherwise, you're just running. You're on a hamster wheel. But the next thing is have a goal. If you have a goal and you miss by a little bit, you're still okay. If you have a goal that's too low and you hit it, that's worse. You set the standards too low. Have a lofty goal. Maybe you won't make it, but you never know. What if you do? But if I want to help 100, in the example I gave before, if I want to help 120 families be educated and now become financially literate and on the way to financial freedom, 120. What if I hit 100? It's still a huge win. But if instead of a goal of 120, what if I put a goal of 40 and I hit it? Yeah, that's nice. But did I really push myself? Did I really make the kind of impact I want to make? And the answer is no. So don't necessarily accept what we have today. Get out of your comfort zone. And I'm not talking you, I'm talking general. Get out of your comfort zone and push a little bit. Maybe you don't want to go from 40 to 120. Go from 40 to 60. Next year, go from 60 to 80. Keep pushing the bar just that little bit. And as you start to work, whatever you do becomes easier. You have processes in place that are repeatable. If it's documents, maybe you can reuse them instead of recreating. Um, do something that'll help you get to that end goal better, faster, cheaper, if as the saying goes. And it does work. And in all that stuff, what you're changing is this. You're changing the mindset and the way you work, the way you look at things. One of the things I think I might have mentioned this recently, one of the things that I started doing about a month ago was I took my Google Calendar and I started to color code what's client focused, what's meeting focused, and what's what I'm going to call nonsense. Okay, seriously. And
Yeah.
I can now see every week what I'm doing, which are business generating, business advancing activities. What are meetings and what's fluff? Business generating is good. Again, are they productive business generating? The meetings are okay, but again, are they productive? Are they necessary? Is it business related or is it those nice to haves?
Right.
But because now I can see it color coded, I can count down real quick and say, okay, 16 customer meetings, you know, 14 hours of business, 8 hours of nonsense, and then a whole bunch of other, pardon my word, crap in there. Okay. Um, but I'm
Right.
using my calendar to keep me on track.
Yeah.
And that's helping me tremendously. So again, whatever your tracking mechanisms are, that's fine. There is no right or wrong. But I'm doing things differently. So when we started this conversation, 24 was okay, 25 was a repeat. I'm not making 26 the same way.
Yeah.
I've set some pretty hefty goals for 26. And I'm not talking December. I have a specific goal for the end of March and the end of June and the end of September and the end of December.
Nice.
Specific goals for each quarter.
Yeah.
And they're not easy, but I wanted them that way because I'm going to use this year to push and do what I did not do or did not do enough of
Mhm.
in previous years. That's where I'm going. Now, I'm just using myself as an example to hopefully inspire somebody out there. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Again, what you do, how you do, your own thing. But what we talk about every week, and I know we're not done yet, but I'm just going to throw this out there. We're here for you. You have questions, comments, thoughts. My cell number is up on under my face on the screen. Chuck's is down next to his face on the bottom. Call us. We'll help you. There's no charge. We'll give you the few minutes. Run ideas by us. We'll let you know independently what we think. Are you on track or you're not? Independent view is huge.
Yeah.
Helps you get out of your own way.
Yeah. You know, as I sit here and listen and think about what my 26 is going to look like, my good tracking mechanism has always been Excel spreadsheet.
Hmm.
I use it very, very efficiently. It works very well for me because I've learned that from my previous employers
Mm.
where I had to use it very extensively. I'm gonna tie that to the calendar that I'm using now to really push myself. And I think I'm going to do what you're doing that I've never done before. I'm going to set quarterly goals for myself
Mhm.
and try to really stay on track with what I want to do with this business, where I'm headed with it, and how I want to make this work. And I already see myself with a chart, breaking down in branches down into the little bottom of these are things I need to do to get to here, to get to here, to get to
Mhm.
here, to get to that top goal
Right.
by the quarter. And I'm already envisioning how that's going to play out for me. So I love this conversation. I think this is one we can, again, it's another episode where we can talk more about it because we don't have enough
Mhm.
time to
Yeah.
really cover all this because we go so deep with it
Right.
that I would really like us to once, in the future, every couple of podcasts to really start relying back onto this episode and let's catch up on our goals and really tell the audience,
Mhm.
hey, this is what we said in January 2nd on our Friday Before podcast. Let's talk about it in June. Did we really, are we on target for what we talked about? Where are we? Let's let the audience know, you
Yeah.
know, did we hold ourselves accountable? Are we really where we need to
Yeah.
be? And
Yeah.
I think that would make a whole nother great episode for the podcast.
Yeah. I think it would. I
Yeah.
think to your point, if we're saying to the audience, we have these goals, you're right. I think we owe it to the audience to say, did we meet them
Yeah.
or not? And if not, high level, why not?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
detracted us or distracted us?
Yeah.
Because that's something, again, we all do things every day, but the unexpected phone call comes in, the unexpected email comes in, the unexpected neighbor drops by,
The
emergency.
unexpected. I don't have time to do things because I'm
Right,
always too busy, right? And
right,
that's a sad excuse because
right.
everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Why can't we do it?
What are you using the 24 hours for? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's assume that you sleep for 8 hours, some more, some less, but let's assume 8 hours. Then you have, if you commute to a job, figure 2 hours a day. Now you're at 10. You're eating, so maybe you're at 12. You're spending so much time in work. Now you're at 20. You still got 4 hours a day. What are you doing with the 4 hours?
Yeah.
Some time with family. That's great. You still got 2 hours left. What are you doing in those 2 hours a day to advance you personally, you business related? What are you doing in those 2 hours a day?
Right.
And that's the way you got to look at it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true, right? Because I find myself sometimes mindlessly scrolling over the phone.
Hmm.
And before you know it, a half hour went by and I'm like, oh man, I really got to get on that because I'm trying to work out how to perfect social media. I'm failing at that, but it's okay. I'm going to pick that back up. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to understand it and try to make it work better for my business. But, at this point, I really got to figure out what are my most important goals that I want to start with
Hmm.
and take it from there. I can't take 15 goals and spread myself to each
No,
one.
no,
I got to pick the
no.
ones I want
Right.
and work with them. And I know what they are, you know?
Pick
Yeah.
if you have 15 goals, just general, right? You have 15 goals, pick the top two or three and make sure that you can get those in. If you can and you have time, try goal number four. If you have time, goal number five. But prioritize. And it's not always easy. But what's going to make the most impact to you as a person, as a parent, as a business owner, revenue? What's going to make the biggest impact on you today, this week, this month, this year? That's what you do first. The rest, it's going to have to wait. It's going to have to wait. Because if you do too many things, you end up doing nothing well and then
Well, that's what I was going to tie
half-assed.
on to that. Is the fact that I bounce around with too many goals. I got 15 things I want to do. I'm just bouncing
Mm,
between each one. I'm accomplishing nothing,
correct.
and I find myself wasting a lot of time through the month, trying to make those goals
Right.
come to life, and it doesn't happen because I'm bouncing around.
Right.
This year, I'm set. I know what I want to do. I got
Hmm.
those goals. I'm gonna be laser focused. I have to. If I
Yeah,
want to progress what I'm doing, I have to be laser focused. You know?
you do. You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure I said this many times before. I am very much of a relationship based person. I get along with everybody. But because I'm in that mode, which is okay, people will ask me to do things to help them. And I do that because I want to help. I want to be friendly. I want to do. But because I do that, I end up pushing my own stuff off to help other people. So my days get longer. Sometimes my stuff doesn't get done and it goes to the next day and the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
So a while back, I started saying to people, I can help you, but my calendar is full, which it usually is. My calendar is full. I can help you 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. If you really need it, I would ask you to go somewhere else to get it done. And most people will. And that's the way I'm freeing up my calendar for more of me time, my stuff.
Yeah.
And it's starting to work already.
Yeah.
So,
Y- Yeah. I got offended when certain people have stopped reaching out to me and giving me time that we used to do even just a month or so ago. But then I realized that they're not just ignoring me. They're realizing that their time is valuable doing other things that need to get done.
Correct.
They don't
Correct.
have time to do what they used to do because they're laser focused like I need to be, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
I jumped back off of that, oh, my feelings are hurt because we're not talking to me anymore, to, well, think about the other side of it, Chuck. They're busy, they're laser focused, they want to get things done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
all a matter of how you look at it, right? It's that mindset on how you look
Correct.
at what
Correct.
people are doing and how we're getting things done, because we all have those goals, you know? So, yeah. So, hey,
We do.
516-727-2294. Reach out to Steve.
Yeah, Chuck's 410-935-6132. Reach
Hey,
out.
time goes by so fast when we do
It
this.
is.
I'm so,
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
I can't. I was looking at
it
the
just
clock. I didn't
flies.
realize what time it was already.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why I keep us on target, you know, because
Yeah.
it just flies. We get to talk and we get good topics, and look where we're at.
Yeah.
We're at the
It-
end, you know?
they're good topics, yes.
Yeah.
But because we believe that we're adding value, time does go quick. You know, if you were talking nonsense and you're trying to stretch to fill up the time, but when you're talking real stuff, examples, what works, what to do, what to avoid, again, we believe that we're adding value, and that's what we're trying to do. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
what's cool about this episode is we have several other topics to discuss, but we didn't get to them. So we're going to have to do it in a future episode, right? So
yeah,
it keeps us going. You know, that's what I love
no,
about this. It keeps us going, you know?
yeah, I love this
So,
stuff. I love,
yeah.
obviously your time, adding value and stuff. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks again for coming on the Friday at 4 podcast series, because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
love it, man. Steve, thanks again for your time and open up to me with goals. I love it. Anybody, if you want to share your goals in the comments, let us know what you're working on, what you thought about, how we can help you.
Mhm.
And let's chat soon. Have a great
Absolutely.
weekend. Have a great day. And we'll
You
talk
got it.
soon.
Will do. Thanks, Chuck. Have a great night. Great weekend.
You too, buddy. Take care. Take
Thanks.
care,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.